For thousands of years, parents in many nations and cultures have predetermined who their children would marry, and often long before puberty. Clearly, the child didn't have a romantic love for the mate, but they learned to love him or her over time. So, is voting for Mitt Romney like entering into a prearranged marriage? Such seems to be the case. Willard Mitt Romney is a man no one seems to really like all that much, but in a prearranged marriage, it appears that Romney's millions of GOP quote-unquote mates are beginning to stop holding their collective noses and succumbing to the likely inevitability of being married to Mitt, with the full blessing of his other wife, of course, who might be First Lady. And no, this isn't a Mormon thing. This is just a pragmatic thing. Better to marry Mitt than to be burned again by Obama, they think. Well, we've heard it all before. Anyone but Obama. And that mantra has taken hold of a nation's collective consciousness to the point where it's all pointing to a mass marriage to Mitt in November, when that nation can grow to love him over time, I suppose. So is this the best it gets? Is this the best that we have to offer? Isn't there anything at all better, possibly maybe on the horizon? Oh, there are other candidates, but they are considered long shots from fringe parties like the Constitution Party. Their champion, Virgil Goode, actually it's pronounced Goode, G-O-O-D-E. He was a 6-term conservative Republican congressman for Virginia. And then there's also Tom Hoefling. He's with the Americas Party. Now both are staunch conservatives, so staunch indeed that they would make Mitt Romney blush in comparison. In fact, they make him look downright pink. Oh, you've never heard of either candidate probably, but there's no surprise here. They weren't included in the two-party presidential debates that we saw on TV, so they hardly even exist in the minds of Americans. And that presents an interesting scenario, though. What would happen if voters actually knew they had not one but two principal candidates to choose from, but neither from a major political party? After all, they're not ecstatic for voting for Romney, and they feel terribly let down by Obama. So could it be that the sheeple this time might actually break away from the comfort of the herd? I don't know. Actually, when you think about it, they're not that comfortable to begin with, so no love lost here, if you will. Think about it. The political landscape is quite similar to that of the 1860 presidential elections. Now, the new Republican Party back then was considered fringe, having never won a race for president before. And worse still, the best they had to offer was this long, gangly, awkward man named, what was his name again? Abe Lincoln, I believe. And he wasn't even in the ballot in all the states, and he didn't even campaign in the South. So, as history records, that lanky, self-educated attorney won the presidency. And he's actually considered by many historians to this day to be the best U.S. president we've had in the history of the Republic. So, can lightning strike twice? Can a third party actually win in 2012? It doesn't look all that likely in the natural, but we've seen it before. We've seen that seemingly bipolar surge and crash of all the candidates during the primary election debates on TV. So it is possible to see a last-minute surge to the finish line, leaving us with a virtual unknown president of the United States. Hey, worse things could happen. So if the mantra of anybody but Obama still rings true, perhaps 2012 will neither be the end of the world nor the beginning of a bad marriage. Instead, it may be just the long overdue end of the two-party system that has all but destroyed our once great nation.